Welcome back, every pony. The concert is still in full swing, and Inverno is enjoying what he sees from the music. But what else is going on that we have not yet seen? I mean, we do still know that he's possibly being searched for. But will he be found before anything happens? Or hopefully nothing does happen. I truly hope nothing happens, every pony. But enough stalling. Let's begin. Inverno in F minor. Written by Cracktinquill. Chapter 30. All stallions become brothers. In F minor.
I don't get it, Twilight said, looking around at the top of the palace with a telescope for the millionth time. The guards have searched every nook, cranny, and crack of the city. But how can those two have disappeared?
Wherever they are,
Shining pointed out.
I doubt they even left the Empire. I had that newly arrived train on lockdown.
Who came here? Cadence asked.
All I know is that there was a hooful of Kier's tourists and that orchestra from Cancelot.
Hold on a sec. An orchestra is here?
Spike said.
Yeah, that Royal Philharmonic is giving a concert here.
Spike looked over the Empire again and thought.
What if...
He thought out loud.
What if that's a clue?
All three ponies questioned what he was talking about.
I mean, think about it. That Inverno guy is interested in music. His teacher is a professor in music. There's an orchestra in town that's giving out a concert. That's it!
Spike cried.
They're at the concert!
Oh! Caden's face hooked. Why didn't I think of that?
It's so obvious!
Shining added, feeling like an idiot.
Come on, let's hurry over there before he gets angry at something.
Or before the crystal ponies find out. The prince's little sister pointed out as they all hurried downward. Ever since the music began with Tchaikovsky's overture, the start of the choir's solemn opening like a sunrise, Inverno whispered to Key Signature that he sees a field and a fortress where there's two armies facing each other.
It looks like both of them know that they're going to achieve some kind of glory, but at the same time, they know that they might get killed. Now I see two ponies stepping onto the field. They look important. Maybe kings or... what are they called?
Generals?
Q whispered.
I suppose so. They're shaking hooves and look like they're talking a bit. Now they're saluting and returning to their armies. It looks like they're giving orders for the soldiers to attack.
As the music played on, Inverno told him the story of the two armies, where both sides tried to protect themselves from Pegasite archers that let arrows descend like water. The army in the field rushed over to the fortress to open its doors, but it was no use. Every so often the wounded would be taken off of the battlefield to be treated by kind nurses. Then, Inverno saw how the field army went underground to dig its way underneath the fortress. Some of the soldiers popped up behind the front door so they could open it up to let the rest of their army invade the fortress. Near the end of the piece, when it looked like victory belonged to the field army, he asked,
What's happening?
The fortress army.
He said, pointing above.
They're whispering about a secret weapon. What secret?
Every pony in the audience jumped, if not collectively screamed, when they saw a red line flying to the middle of the stadium before they exploded. As the strings tumbled downward, Inverno, along with every pony else, asked,
What was that?
Fireworks.
Professor Key answered.
They're shooting fireworks.
Well, whatever they've done,
Inverno said.
the field army is running away. They're all galloping away from the fortress. The fortress army is ringing bells for one last attack. They're calling for anyone who can walk to the weapons to finish them off.
The orchestra went into playing its climax soon. Fireworks above the stadium exploded 11 times in 11 different colors and effects. There were triumphant bells, a signal of victory, and as the choir sang from the final bars, Inverno completed his tale saying,
Now, the fortress army is raising their flag in the light of a sunset.
The Crystal Ponies, well startled by the sudden fireworks, kindly applauded the orchestra's performance. Quarter note went up to the megaphone again.
Thank you. For the last piece in this concert, we will be playing the music to a very unique ballet. While we don't have any dancers for the music, I guess we might have to make do. But don't worry, as it stands on its own, the music is pretty intense. I'm of course talking about Stravinsky's Rite of Spring. And I confess, out of all the performances we're giving, this is the one I'm the most nervous about.
He paused for a moment, before he continued saying,
It's not because that it's difficult to play or conduct, nor is it the fact that this is the most recently written music from about 100 years ago. Rather, it's that I'm hoping that you may like this. This is because when it was performed for the first time, the ballet caused one of the most scandalous riots in musical history. I believe this was, in part, because it was so unusual, the topic was so out of the ordinary, and the performance unlike ever done before. The Ponies at the time didn't know what to think of it. Now, about 100 years after its premiere, both the ballet and the music itself is now considered a work of genius. Which I hope that you may find it as well, but if not, I'm going to give the orchestra the same order as it was given the night it premiered. No matter what happens, keep going.
This got a chuckle out of the audience.
And now, our final piece, Stravinsky's The Rite of Spring.
He finished his announcement. As the conductor made his way to the stand, the Crystal Ponies stomped their hooves and subsided once Quarter Note took a hold of his stick. Once the high bassoon started the first few bars, the professor turned to Inverno, who was looking around, getting anxious by the second.
Where am I?
Inverno?
He whispered.
Where is every pony? What's going on?
Inverno?
His teacher asked out of genuine concern.
I can't see. Where are you?
The colt said urgently.
What do you see?
There's nothing but fog. I can't see anything, not even my hooves. Professor, what's going on?
A pony behind them shushed them. Keep quiet, I'm trying to listen.
I really can't see anything.
The young unicorn said frantically.
Professor, where are you?
He took his hoof.
I'm right here. I haven't moved.
Inverno's voice started shaking.
Professor, get me out. I don't want to be here no more.
Are you sure?
The colt violently nodded and the elder earth pony sighed.
Oh, very well. Just lean to my side. I'll lead you.
The two of them got out of their seats and tried to make their way through the crowd and to the steps of the stadium. But as the music progressed with instruments joining in, the colt got increasingly paranoid. At the playing of the high clarinet, Inverno screamed.
What was that?
Before his hoof slipped off the crystal steps and into the audience below them, the professor couldn't help but watch in horror as the colt tumbled down. Of course, Inverno screamed as he fell. Pieces of his disguise came off from his dark glasses to the saddlebags that were just flung off of him. Unfortunately, some pony helped stop his fall. "Are you okay?" a crystal mirror asked in shock before she got a good look at who she caught. When she did, she screamed. Now, without anything to hide him, Inverno was exposed. Dizzy and hurting all over, Inverno opened his eyes, but while he couldn't see anything but fog, every pony else saw his father's eyes.
"Get away!"
Some pony yelled as the mare dropped him on the step. Inverno was able to grasp onto something to keep him from falling. Although blind thanks to the music, Inverno could pick up on the sheer terror in the air. As the music took a violent turn, so did the audience. The unicorn felt someone kick him down the stairs until he was at a plateau. He felt something hard hit him in the stomach, so in response he curled up into a ball, covering his front hooves when he felt 1,000 hooves raining down on him.
Stop! No! Ow! Stop!
Inverno screamed, but his cries for mercy went unheard as he heard a disjointed choir of,
"This is for enslaving us!"
and,
"Get out of here, monster!"
and,
"This is for my mother!"
and,
Filthy dogs!
and so on and so forth.
Get away from him!
K-Signature cried as he galloped down the steps to the mob, beating up Inverno with glass bottles, leftover snacks, and hooves.
Stop it now!
However, the angry mob wouldn't let the old stallion through. Then, above the mob's heads, they felt the heat of a green flame. They turned to see Spike there.
Hey, cut it out!
He pushed and ducked his way through. When he got to Inverno, he found his body covered in bruises and fruit, sobbing uncontrollably.
Come on, let's get you out of here.
Spike said, lifting a colt on his shoulder. The professor followed behind Spike.
Inverno. Oh, Celestia. I'm so sorry.
Papa was right.
Inverno hiccuped, looking over to the crystal ponies behind him, for they were staring back. Then Inverno, through his choppy and agonizing speech, said something that made both the dragon and the pony look at each other with uncertainty. It was something he repeated all the way back to the palace.
They really are animals.
And this concludes chapter 30 to Inverno in F minor. Oh. I don't even know what to say. I have no words at all. I have been broken, it is confirmed. To think adults could viciously beat a child like that. I mean, I understand why. The rumors circulating around Inverno are quite ridiculous, to say the least, but to think such chaos would break out at the mere sight of him. I honestly have no words. This was quite emotional to read through, every pony. I just hope that things can be resolved a bit more peacefully, and that those involved with this horrible act will get to see that Inverno is simply a child and not the monster they thought he was.